From Riverdale Studios, Sioux Falls, this is a comic book look.
Welcome to a comic book look, you guys, your weekly comic book show. We talk about anything in the comic book industry. You want it, you got it. Anything, absolutely anything. My name's John, aka Mr. Anything, aka John on Demand, aka the comic book Hugh Hefner. Over to my farthest of left, we have Tom, aka the Moses of Comics, letting his hair down this evening. In the middle here, of course, camera extraordinaire, Mr. Skylar Bulks.
How's it going, guys?
Still being awesome, the usual. And I must say, you guys, that was a pretty sweet episode last week.
Hey, thanks, guys.
I was cracking up.
We missed you, John.
Oh, it was just like, well. But, you know, Skylar had the shades on. He was representing. And
yeah.
This evening, I don't even have my eyes on. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
well, good.
oh. So,
We're back to the original.
all right, I'm sorry, guys.
Tonight, we're going to be talking about a movie we just saw that I don't know if anyone even knows came out.
Based on the turnout, I'd say so.
There were 3 other people in the theater,
Yeah.
aside from us, at Judge Dredd, but we went to the 2D version. We don't want to pay the extra money.
Yeah.
Probably, this
Like,
was one of them probably could have been better in 3D. I really think so.
I could care less about the extra $1.50 for 3D, but usually 3D is not worth it. This was
all the slow-mo scenes.
But I did read afterwards, or right beforehand, after we picked our show, that it was shot in 3D, so it's probably pretty cool. But I don't have any regrets going in 2D. I mean, 3D usually sucks ass.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I mean, Dredd, Carl Urban, taking the role as Dredd, doing much better job than Sylvester Stallone. We had to do it. We do comic book movies. This is a comic book. I don't know much about Dredd, but I have a couple comic books that are Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
And you
Are
know,
the books any good?
yeah, they're okay.
They're right along the same lines as the movie. Just
Yeah,
almost
I mean,
a little corny, pretty violent.
Yeah, but I mean, interesting, cool art, you know, cool landscapes, cool environment, and that really does a great job. But yeah, I mean, we always do the comic book movies, so this is, you know, one of the longest running, you know, comic books. 2000 AD. This is where Dredd is calls home. So got to represent. And Locus Mortis, we went. I hope you saw it as well. But yeah, I mean, you want to give us a rundown, kind of what the story was all about, Johnny Boy? You know, you're usually awesome at those.
Yeah. Awesomely cynical. But, you know, I don't have too much to be cynical this time, you guys. I mean, Skylar was in fact, we were sitting in this order at the movie theater, which is so stupid but awesome. But Skylar probably heard me chuckle many a time because in this movie, this is what I'm talking about with justice, you guys. Taking no guff, taking no for an answer, and just slapping that ticket down even if it's a bullet to your brain. You know, like, Judge Dredd is a force to be reckoned with. All right, so here we're what are we? Mega City? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Mega City 1.
Oh,
yeah.
word.
Yes.
Okay, Mega City 1.
I'm assuming Mega City 2 must be across the sea somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
China.
People living in huge, tall apartment buildings, and tall is an understatement. Probably
Full blocks that are hundreds of stories high.
Insane. This movie, and we'll get into what we like and what we don't like about it shortly, but I really like that, you know, we were able to kind of stay in one place but make it interesting and fun. And normally shoot 'em movies don't really engage me at all. I find them rather boring, but with this one I was like, you know, this is actually kind of entertaining in some twisted, sick way, so go figure, you know, that I would kind of enjoy it. That's not much of a plot synopsis, but that's really all it was a bunch of kick-assery. You know, just on different levels.
Sure. It is, yeah. Judge Dredd shows up for a drug bust, and the leader of that cartel, that drug cartel, and he doesn't know it at the time, but they're manufacturing the drugs.
He actually shows up for the homicide.
Prairie
Double
Tree.
homicide.
Oh, yeah, it is a triple homicide,
Triple
actually.
homicide,
People thrown from the top of the block.
Yeah. The block.
and they get locked down in this full block in war mode, and it's basically just Judge Dredd and his rookie trainee trying to get out.
Yep. So I mean, it starts off. You get introduced to the world. You really get to see some really cool landscapes. Then you get introduced to Dredd, the Hall of Justice, really quickly. They don't they're not doing Green Lantern trying to shove 100 things into it. Very basic knowledge that you just need to know to understand it. Yeah. We immediately get introduced to the characters, what's going on. Yeah. Through what's going on, you know that one's a psychic, the new rookie, and then Judge Dredd is the one who has to assess her if she can be a judge or not. And then so they go on this, they go get ready, and he explains that only 6% of crime is even worked at all in Mega City 1 because there's just not enough time. And she's like, well, what, 6%? And he's like, it's your choice.
Your call, Rook.
And then she was like, oh, let's go to Peachtree's. And then Peachtree's is this enormous building, John says enormous, but it's so enormous. 75,000 people live there.
It's a full city block.
It's a city in this apartment building, which is just buck. And then so he's getting straight locked down, and when they mean lockdown, there's sheets of steel that come across the whole entire giant city building and shut Judge Dredd in, and it's all through the hands of the bad guy who's the controller, and the bad guy is
the villain. You can't call it a bad guy.
Oh, I'm still saying bad guy. I'm not sexist at all. Bad guy. One of the greatest bad guys ever is it's like the mom from, she's the queen from Game of Thrones, the evil queen, and she is just one of the greatest, main
so
villains.
And dark.
Yeah, she's ugly.
Ultra violent.
She's just such a good female character for being evil, and and it's just basically her trying to run in this giant city tower. Judge Dredd is stuck there, and she says, "Kill Judge Dredd, else I'm not opening the doors." And that's basically when the kick-assery just starts and does not stop. Yeah. And the drug that they're manufacturing is called slow-mo. So it comes in this inhaler, and then you go, and then you're just like, and you see time
splashing in the bathtub, and you can see the individual droplets forming
little
as you
particles of light.
You can see time at 1% what you normally see, so it's extremely slowed down, all this craziness, and that's what's hot market, and Judge Dredd comes in and just dominates, and I just love how Carl Urban and the makers and the writers did not pull any punches at all. I mean, they're totally giving you Judge Dredd kicking ass, no emotion, right to the book, every time, and I just think that the whole entire story, it wraps up. Obviously, Judge Dredd gets out of this building, and then he has to talk to his boss, and she's like, "What the hell happened here? Routine drug bust, uncooperative, assailants, all taken care of." And it's just he almost died 1,000 different times, and he doesn't even bring any of that up. Just
killed hundreds of people, thousands of innocent civilians dead. Drug bust. Yeah.
So that's basically the full synopsis from all three of us. And it was awesome. It was just as you could probably tell. I mean, I definitely enjoyed it as I'm saying this. So yeah, kind of give let's say kind of what are some of the parts that we really liked were.
I really liked the shooting. Obviously, with the slow-mo drug, you have a lot of excuses to use some really cool special effects, which it started to almost feel heavy-handed at a point, but that was, once you felt it was heavy-handed, that was the last time we saw it, until the end, which I'm not going to spoil that bit, but, it kind of comes back into a fitting end.
Yeah, and I mean, totally. I was feeling the same way. Okay, are they going to slow-mo every single thing? Yeah. Because that you start to, when they're teaching you about the drug, I mean, they have to do the slow-mo thing. Yeah. So it got to the point where I was like, okay, this is enough. And then, right when I was thinking of that, they didn't do it again. And it was thank you.
Yeah. And there was, just so many, crazy things going on, the violence, all the gore, it looked and felt really real. because of how, like, especially in the slow-mo scene, a guy gets shot and, like, his cheek blasts off the back, and you can see, like, the bones in his teeth. And it's really, some of it's really almost kind of twisted, and you kind of turn away, but you don't take your eyes off the screen. But aside from that, like, the opening of the dystopian future, they kind of go across just a little bit of this, you know, nuclear barren wasteland over the nuclear walls into the city. Just this huge, expansive city. You know, you get the Hall of Justice, all of these really big, wide open, well lit shots.
They say that it goes from Washington D.C. to Boston. The city does so.
Yeah, but all the shots are really wide open, well lit. You know, the Hall of Justice, things are kind of nice and clean. And once they set foot inside this peach tree, like, things are a little bit dark, a little bit kind of dank, and there's, you know, people sitting around, homeless people, like a homeless drug addict asking people to berate him for money. And then, especially once they lock the place down, all of the shots are so tight, it's really kind of cramped, almost a claustrophobic feel everywhere they go, until they start making their way to the top, where, you know, the cartel holds the top, and it's bigger. It's not cleaner,
no,
but it's bigger and, I guess, nicer in a way. You know, more expansive rooms and things. But everything, it actually almost gets more twisted.
I was gonna say, it's as nice as
blood on the walls.
Just like as nice as Mama is, you know, she's not a gross person, you know.
Yeah.
So, but just great bad guy, but yeah. Yeah, totally. What'd you think, John? What are some of the great parts?
Oh man, you guys make me sound like a jerk with this review, but you know, just again the kick ass for you guys. Like the homeless guy was kicking it at the entrance to Peach Trees, and you know, Judge Dredd's like, "Okay, you gotta leave when I come back. I don't want you here." And then the place goes into lockdown, and the door smashes the guy, and you just see like part of his clothes, and a thing of blood, and I was just like lolling. That was one of my chuckles. I'm horrible. You know, it was interesting. I really liked Mama's approach. I would never do this in real life, obviously, but I liked how she handled herself in terms of getting on the microphone. I want the judge dead. And I thought the whole Peachtree complex was just going to go ape.
Mm-hmm.
First person to kill him gets like 1 million credits or something. You know what I mean? Like that kind of, like all of a sudden it's a manhunt, you know, survival of the fittest. Everyone wants money. Because that would be an interesting, probably a quick movie too, but interesting environment to be in. But it was interesting that, you know, she just said, you know, either help us out or get the fuck out of our ways, pretty much. Lock yourselves in. You know, I got a chuckle out of that. I thought that the guy with the cybernetic eyes was interesting. At first I thought he was just baked beyond belief because he was all pupils or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it turns out they're actually robot eyes, which, you know, we were talking about that too. I thought that was kind of cool, actually.
I mean, the way that they portrayed that guy, this is like he's their tech guy, and the reason he has robot eyes is because like he controls all the computers for Mama, the villain.
Which is a perfectly good reason to have robot eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Camera eyes.
I have robot eyes. I want robot eyes. Mom, I'll work with you.
No, I just don't like techno. It's because you don't have robot ears. But
that was awesome.
And you know that guy, the way they portrayed him, so dirty, ugly, gross hair, pale skin, just like so scary.
You were chuckling when he was first up.
Oh my god! I was just like,
he's almost like. You find out later that he's broken and like held hostage, but his portrayal was great.
Yeah,
you could definitely see
cool
like almost immediately that this guy is not happy with where he's at, but he can't.
Didn't have a
do
choice in
anything
the
about
matter,
it.
you know. The other thing I liked, I suppose, then was actually the part where they got those, you know, the big guns out and were just blasting across the way at Judge Dredd and just took out a whole wall and just
a whole floor,
wall shattering, rock, metal, everything just flying
I can't
everywhere.
believe there
Bodies
wasn't
are
any
piling.
structural damage.
It
is
was,
how bad it was.
yeah, like I'm surprised that the floors above just you know, and the whole thing just blew up from there, you know. But they just went ape on that architecture, you guys. Like King Kong with a gun is what Mama is, you know.
And she just kind of stood there, just like with this slow kind of like half smirk growing on her face, until she turned around and grabbed a hold of one of the guns, like pushed the guy off of it.
Yeah. So all in all, I mean, those are kind of some of my moments, I suppose.
Yeah, totally. I think some of the things I liked about it were definitely I loved that, you know, the main villain, Mama. What about her is she was never happy. She's never, You know, she seems like she's disgusted in everything. She never looks good, which is just so cool to me. I mean, in the day and age of Hollywood and Hollywood movies, everybody looks good. You know, like everybody's pretty or everybody tries. There's always something. And we had two really strong female characters that had like no sex appeal, and that was so awesome to have them like be portrayed in a different light that you don't see very often. Let them be their own strong characters, and I mean it worked out perfect for it. So I totally love the strong female characters, and then not over sexualizing anybody. I mean, which was just really nice. I mean, obviously the the one gangster guy that they have is captured was having like dirty thoughts of her or whatever, but there was just never. Yeah, I mean that was exactly. She just like took her psychic abilities.
Made him piss his pants,
dude. It was so fucking awesome. So that was awesome, and then just the character designs and the makeup and clothes and things of the whole entire production, because it was so outlandish. I mean, they were so good. Everybody was dirty and gross and ugly, and nobody looked good. Nobody looked Hollywood ready, and I love that about it. The main character, she could be a beautiful woman, but she had like methed out teeth. She just has this giant scar, and she's skinning dudes, shooting dudes. Like
gets down.
Oh, it's just I love that part about it.
Despicable.
And then I also loved it was. But another thing I just loved about it was like Green Lantern tried to do like 87 things. There's so much explanation. They think they need to get out here. I love that we introduce the characters, find out, see the Hall of Justice, find out what it is, and then boom, Dredd is trapped in this thing. Now we know what the movie's about.
And you're right.
That's always the nice thing about Judge Dredd, though, is he's a judge. He makes his own judgment calls. He's a judge, jury, executioner.
Yeah.
Into the action.
Yeah.
There's no backstory to
You don't need to.
Who cares where he came from?
Exactly, but they could have done like politics stuff. They could have went out to the outside of the wall. All these bad things that they tried to push into the last Judge Dredd movie that they didn't hear. They took a badass character, they put him in an impossible situation, and then we got to see him get out. And it was so fun to watch. And it disappoints me so much that this is opening night, and we loved it.
Hey,
and literally, so we had us three, and then three other guys that were our friends, and then other than that in the theater there was 2 people at the top and 2 people at the front, so 4 other people besides us. That is ridiculous. There's like 200,000 people that live in our city, and 6 people went to this showing of Judge Dredd.
And actually 2 of them were the people who were trying to decide what movie to go to on the way in. And they decided to go to Judge Dredd because they heard us buying the tickets.
And because they wanted to go to the new Bourne movie, but there wasn't like another showing. And so, I don't know, but I thought it was so good. I love the over blood. I love the not holding back. Oh, also the soundtrack. I also really like the soundtrack. Futuristic, depressed techno. Which was really cool.
I agree with that. That's a good call.
Those are definitely some things that are the things that I really liked about it.
Yeah. If I can go back to shooting too, on like a lot of those like super violent scenes, it was almost like the camera was an observer of the violence, because there was kind of like this half look every once in a while where you kind of catch a glimpse, just a little bit at a time, and then like the judges show up, and the med unit guy comes and opens it up, and you just get a full view of this guy that just fallen over 200 floors and is flattened and bloody across the
that was
concrete. And it was a little bit brutal, but it kind of softened it in the way that a person would actually do it. I thought that was a really curious and really well done bit.
Yeah, I agree that there's a lot of little things like that were, you think you just have this movie of doing nothing, but because they had all these little things that were good, like even the rookie has to shoot a guy because he was trying to kill a judge. That's an automatic death sentence. He meets her husband or her wife later and her little kid. And, it's just like that was quick, but it was just like, I'm glad they threw it into the movie. And you didn't spend a lot of time on it. You got to the point. That being a judge is hard. Where she's a rookie and having trouble with it, where Judge Dredd would never think twice.
Another thing with the violence and the gore, We were talking about it before. They drive through in the opening sequence. They make a drug bust. And, some guys driving down, doing a little slow-mo while they're driving. Yeah. And they run through. There's a violent scene through this mall. And there's a guy laying dead and bloodied. And there's an announcement over the loudspeaker that says, the mall will reopen in 30 minutes. There's hundreds of dead people just along the way because they're driving along shooting.
They already got a crews, just like with your waxers, waxing up the blood. It's just like, it sets up that tone that this is a fucked up place.
Yeah, and this is just basically normal. This is standard operating procedure. Something happened.
You know, it's like on the intercom, because they have to have an intercom because there's like 100 people being like, oh my god, I wanted to get into the mall. Who cares? A few dead bodies. Let me in this place. And, you know, I just, like, love to think, like, that world is the one that is existing that we're in. And just,
isn't that, like, out East Coast? I'm just playing East Coast. I love you.
But, yeah, totally. Now, the band. What were some of the things
Whoa. From Australia, Killaroo Gang War, black and white variant signed, and very awesome. This was a book that I'd given a 6-pack rating when I talked to him about it. Very, very awesome. But the real treat here is actually the envelope, you guys. You got the red bus stamp on the front with the Australian flag, and it was just really cool. And on the back, it looks really badass because it has this kangaroo guy and then this studly male with sunglasses, and it says "Keep it comic."
Is that Judge Dredd?
I must be. Look at that. Look at the curvature.
That's Judge. Oh no, that's not. That's Judge John.
Judge John, you guys. So.
Yeah, dude. So Darren Close, I mean, you are just the man. Thank you so much for being so cool, and then hooking up. You know, doing such a cool interview with John, and then giving him this stuff, and you know, it's like I get to live through John doing all these cool things. I just think it's so awesome.
Absolutely.
So, nice work on that.
Absolutely.
100%.
Well, anyways, clear those out. Next up, I did another interview and got some bookage here. So Arl Herbrand delivered in terms of presentation. Kings of Overgrove, you guys. Another 6-pack review. Great story. Check them out. You can search them on Facebook at kingsofovergrove.com. Signed copies for the boys. And
so awesome.
You guys, the artwork is awesome. In mine, he writes, John, great talking with you. I'm proud of the 6-pack review. All the best, Errol. So, you guys, this is a story. This is a timeless... I told him this is going to be a timeless classic. It is fun. You can go to the website, and they have the first 2 parts of 4 up that you can watch it in motion with original soundtrack, sound editing, and so forth. Great quality. The presentation, you guys, A+. This is an A+ guy. Check out his work, seriously. You know, if you do want to get a copy of it, just contact him through the website. But it is well worth it. It is so neat. And he actually sent me the screenplay as well for the prequel to this that I get to read too. So I still have to read that. But just such a cool book, you guys. And once you guys have a chance to read it, let me know what you think. I haven't read past the first one because that's all that's online.
Well, this is just so cool. So thank you so much for bringing this.
Hats off to
you.
Dude,
I really do appreciate it.
So we will definitely rock this out. But seriously, guys, check it out. Kings of Overgrove, Errol Herbrand. Back to the couch. Wait, we're already on the couch.
Oh, we're already back on the couch. And you guys better be checking out After Hours every time it comes out. It's straight to the Comic Book Look YouTube page. So you guys, make sure you're checking that on a regular basis. I mean, John is doing outstanding work. He is in talk with just amazing creators coming up too. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for more.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
So let's get back to the movie then.
All right. Let's hear the negative.
Oh man, that's hard.
What's the bad? Well, I'll just start with the bad. I mean, I think, this was not a movie that broke any ground. It wasn't like a movie that did anything like outstandingly crazy that was, so great that, it's going to change movies forever. It didn't have the greatest storyline or plot line or, in-depth things or like deep emotions. And those are some downsides to the movie, but in a sense, it's almost like I'm glad it didn't have those things. This is a movie that did one thing and it did it correctly.
Exactly.
So it didn't involve all these other things that you usually would want in maybe a film.
Yeah.
Another thing that I thought could have been better was everything is passed over really quickly. The other judges come in and they're like there's some bad judges that get paid off by Mama. And I thought though, like how he was taking care of that, it was just like so quick. I don't know. Like I would have liked to seen
Especially that chick
maybe
one.
a little different way of doing it. I almost like the chick one the best because she's like, I'll shoot her or she'll hesitate and then I'll shoot her. And then she was like,
she doesn't even draw her gun and just gets blasted away.
Yeah, it was like so stupid.
The worst.
But Dredd did get shot by one of the judges.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, I was like, what?
Yeah, dressing himself. It's just like,
Insta-lung.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man, Dredd is a badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought if you have these 4 guys, you could have done something really cool to make something that how they die or how they get beaten, or I don't know, instead of the 1-by-1 pick off. But it's not like saying that was bad because I still like that. I just thought that maybe something different could have been done with those guys. How about you guys? What else did you think that wasn't perfect?
Man.
Wasn't perfect.
You know, damn, Tom. That's an awfully long list, in my opinion. I personally kind of rather enjoyed the film myself.
Oh, shit.
Which, I was the one that was like, why are we going to see this?
I know, John is like the one like, are we really seeing this?
And Tom's like, watch it be really good. I'm like, no way. And I'm like, actually, yes way. It's a pretty entertaining film. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was skeptical. I was like, I have no idea what I'm getting into. I thought it was kind of fun. I pushed the ticket a little bit. And
I thought it was great.
Oh, here's one thing I hated. Okay,
Nice.
I had to think about it. Sorry, guys. She's a mutant. Great. So we have identified one. She uses her powers once in a badass manner to make a guy leak his pants, whatever. So many other opportunities to use those abilities. Skylar and I are talking about this. It's so hit or miss with that. But where are all the other mutants? What else can people do out there? And why weren't some of them under the employment of Mama, who happens to control a huge-ass fucking building full of people? Right?
They did.
They kind of
cover
covered that
a little bit because the
Mutants
one guy
are
talked
hated.
about a guy.
They're hated, but so what about
most
people
of
with
them,
robot eyes?
Most of them are just.
Right?
I think she's kind of hates him too.
I bet she really hates
He had
people with
those-
robot
he had those
ears. No
planned.
techno.
Ears, definitely.
Mama actually put the robot eyes in that guy.
Yeah.
So maybe she's like,
She likes robot. No, but they do cover really
most
quick. I
mutants are
hear
like
that.
3 arms
But they're
or
like,
whatever,
oh yeah, most mutants are gross, and they think like mutants are disgusting,
yeah.
and like there's definitely,
Either way, it's
and there's also like graffiti that's like no mutants or mutants die and stuff like that. So it's like you can totally tell that there's something,
Well, if Mama's really smart, she'd have a little muscle.
Yeah, I agree. Make it an X-Men movie. And because they already got the Hall of fucking Justice. You got Justice League X-Men crossover right here called Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I thought that was it was kind of funny that they're like, you have mutants just like Marvel's X-Men and have the Hall of Justice just like.
I wasn't a big fan of that, but I mean,
I'm
things
sure-
happen from.
And I bet like they've had this is,
wasteland, but
it's been around since the 70s, so I'm sure that they've been using these same things for a long
it
time.
it's
doesn't
not
mean
like-
they need to put it in
Yeah.
the movie.
It's not like Marvel's biting their style or anything, especially in Thunderbolts, right? With Boss Cage.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Boss Cage is
Never
doing
takes
Judge
us
Dredd.
all off.
I mean, I understand it's a homage, and you wanted to, Parker's just doing his thing to Judge Dredd, but I don't know. I just didn't like it as much as I like the other Thunderbolts. Which don't even get me started with Thunderbolts right now. Fucking Thunderbolts shitty team making Punisher lose his book, having Dark Avengers start at #1. I mean, I'm just completely off this shit.
Wait, what? Dark
yeah.
Avengers?
Yeah, Marvel now. Dark Avengers is starting over.
Really?
Yeah,
So they get their own thing?
yeah, and then Thunderbolts is completely different. Not even the same thing.
I thought you were excited about that.
No,
The
I'm
team
not.
lineup. Who was it?
I
Everyone
just
else
thought-
I've talked to is like Red Hulk. And
I
Electra.
think it's cool that Punisher and Electra are going to be on a team,
Yeah.
but really, are you going to make Greg Rucka stop writing my favorite fucking Punisher series right now to make him join the Thunderbolts, and now he has to be in Team Book?
How do you really feel?
Oh,
Nerd rage.
yes, exactly.
But Dark Avengers, huh?
Yeah, Dark Avengers. No, don't get that smirk off your face.
Uh,
No, I'm just playing, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, not too many bad things. So what's your guys' ratings?
Ooh. Scar.
for what it was, ultra-violent, high-paced, visually striking, it might be categorized as. I would have to give it 5 out of 6 because it's a great experience, and it's actually got me on. Tom and I were talking about this. Probably going to be going on a dystopian future movie kick after this one, which it kind of brings me into why it lost a point is because I wanted a little more of the dystopian future, a little more about the city, about the mega city. But maybe if we see a second movie, we'll get more into the story of the actual city.
That's why it's good that we didn't see that yet.
Yes, I hope they bring another one.
Yeah, hopefully our ticket sales in South Sioux Falls are a little different than the ones around the world.
That or we're going to have to go buy more tickets.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go again. Because I would like to see it in 3D, actually. But anyway, I also am going to give it a high rating of a 6-pack, bitch. I thought, for what it was, I loved it. I came in, John kind of gave me the idea, like, Tom, why are you really wanting to see Dredd, And so it almost kind of hit my home, like, why am I so excited, And then yeah, I mean, the first one sucked. But it was awesome. This is what I love. I love dystopian futures. I love craziness, and I love, ultra-violent, not holding back, and just not being ashamed to be the kind of movie that you want to be. And I feel like, Lionsgate, some of their movies suck, but they never, pull their punches, They always let their director do their thing. And I think it paid off and was really good. But, don't take my rating too seriously. I mean, I thought Punisher Warzone was, the best Punisher movie, and I gave that, I would have given that 5 out of 6 beers. So, there's varying tastes, but definitely I give Dredd the 6-pack review. So.
Oh, shit. Oh, guys, me on the other hand, I'm going to have to give it 1 out of 6.
Oh, yeah?
Just fucking with you guys, chill out. Oh, man. No, I'm just playing. I'll give it 5 3/4 just because I need a sip to wet my whistle. Popcorn that I ate, you guys. I'm such a
You just think you're going to 1 to 5 3/4? Is that even a rating?
3/4? I can't.
I just took a sip out of it and said, "Here, movie."
Can you Photoshop 3/4 of a beer bottle?
Yeah.
Let's just make it 5.
Oh man, just under 6. But it was fun. It was fun. I'm not as familiar with the characters as you guys are, the environments or whatever. But I mean, I had fun with it. I really did, and I was pleasantly surprised. You guys.
Well, obviously you had a major fun. You just almost gave it a 6-pack review, man. You fucking had a blast.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Dude, and I think we all did, which is surprising.
We weren't too sure about this one.
Especially because John is a half hour early to every movie, and when we go to movies, I think we're gonna be sold out, guys. I mean, I really like.
Yeah, usually I might
It's 2 months in advance. It's I've already lost 2 sets of tickets, so we're just gonna buy some more. And
can you believe I did that?
John showed up on time tonight. Man, I hope this one's sold out.
So then we showed up a couple minutes before, and I was like, shit, we beat John here. Yeah. This is maybe a problem. And then, lo and behold, John shows up, and I was like, okay.
I was actually talking to Phil and the guys on Skype.
Who were you?
I was telling him what I was doing.
Nice.
So I'm like, guys, I gotta go. Yeah.
Nice, buddy.
Yeah.
Comic book talk. Check it out, guys.
Well, I mean, I wasn't on the cast.
Oh, you weren't.
Yeah, but still check them out.
Yeah, exactly. True.
No, they're great guys. They were watching a movie all together tonight.
Nice.
Yeah. So check that out.
Dude, love just nerd friend relationships online, dude. It's so great.
A little bromance everywhere.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. It's epic, dude.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, I mean, any other final thoughts on the Dredd, and or anything that you want to bring up?
Go see it, guys.
Totally
we need to pump up the ticket sales. We need a Dredd 2.
Vote with your dollars.
Yep, I agree.
This is voting season right now.
Go see it. It's super fun and super cool.
Yeah.
Definitely worth checking out. Yeah, but other than that, definitely check us out. Be sure to check out After Hours. It's coming out all the time. It's bomb. Me and Skylar will try to get on as much as we possibly can. But John's just running that baby like a champ. And check us out, every Tuesday night at VeteranMediaJunkies.com. The greatest pop culture geek site around. And then also send us email, subscribe on Facebook. Emails at comicbooklook@gmail.com. Facebook's a comic book look page. And then, other than that,
We're starting to
Other
get
than that,
winded as we
practice-
rattle these off. You know.
Practice your Judge Dredd faces
Yeah.
for next week.
Oh yeah, and also I'm writing reviews for IMJ.
Yeah, dude.
That comes out like
Yeah.
either on Fridays or
Tom writes
Sundays.
some pretty awesome reviews.
So yeah, they're capsule reviews. I like to keep mine a little shorter than the others. Hopefully I'm not in trouble for that. But
To let you go, Tom.
check them out as well. Like you should be checking everything out on IMJ. But yes, until next time, guys. Thanks for watching.
Excellent. You guys know the drill. Keep it sassy, keep it classy, and keep it comics.